So now that you have that information in your notes, we're going to see how you would actually now use those to classify a polynomial. So, notice we're classifying by both degree and number of terms. When we do that, we always go by the degree first. Remember, the degree is the highest exponent. So taking a look here at number 1, what's the highest exponent in that expression? 3. And so then you look back at your notes. A degree 3 polynomial is called what? Cubic. So that is going to be cubic then. So we first write cubic, and then we go to number of terms. So then, how many terms does this expression have in number 1? Well, remember that terms are separated by addition and subtraction. So that means that I have a term here, and I have a term here. So 2 terms. And if we have 2 terms, it is called a what? Binomial. Yep. So then this expression then is classified as a cubic binomial. Same idea for the others. Go ahead and try the others. A little hint going forward. Always simplify if you can first. Okay, go ahead and finish those other 2. So for the second one, again, we look at it and we figure out, okay, first of all, what's the degree? The highest exponent. In this case, that is the 2 here. And degree 2 is quadratic. And then we look at how many terms are there. And so term, term, and term. So 3 terms. And if there's 3 terms, that is a trinomial. So that is a quadratic trinomial. And finally, for number 3, again, notice we have to simplify anything we can first. And in this case, some stuff does simplify. Because I have a 4x minus a 4x. 4x minus 4x is 0. So that whole thing actually simplifies down to be -7. So that's actually what we're classifying. Otherwise, we could throw in all sorts of extra crud in these expressions and change what it'd be classified as. But we can't do that. There should only be one classification, and so that's why we always think of what is it after it's been simplified. All right, so then I'm classifying -7. What is the degree in -7? Well, that's the exponent on x. There is no x, which means that the exponent is 0. So yes, that is constant. So that is a constant. And how many terms are there? 1. So it is a constant monomial. And yes, I'm going to have you write constant monomial, but I do want to let you know that every constant has to be a monomial. You cannot have a constant binomial because all of a sudden it would have to have a higher exponent in it. So technically, if you just say constant monomial is insinuated, but I do want you actually specifying both here. Now, having seen those problems done, go ahead and now classify each of these 3. All right, so as you're working through these, on number 4, we first have to classify by the degree. And degree, remember, is the highest exponent. And in this case, the highest exponent is not written first. Notice the highest exponent is actually right here. It's the 7. But we don't have degree 7 in our notes. So what do we do if it's off the table, if it's out of our notes? Well, we just say degree 7. If we don't have a special name I'm expecting you to know for it, then you just label it degree 7. So this will be a degree 7, and then classify it by its number of terms. How many terms are there in number 4?
3.
I see 3. Yep. So that will be a degree 7 trinomial for number 1. Now number 5 has something similar that happens in it, where we end up going off the notes. In number 5, first of all, the degree of the polynomial, our highest exponent here, it's the 3. Okay, and if it's degree 3, what do we call that? Cubic. Great. So that's cubic, no problem. But then, how many terms are there? Again, remember, terms are separated by addition and subtraction. So there's 4 terms here in number 5. If there's 4 terms, we don't have something for 4 terms. We have monomial, binomial, and trinomial. But all of those are polynomials. But I don't just want to say a cubic polynomial. I want to still be specific about how many terms there are. So I'm going to call that a cubic polynomial of 4 terms as a way to specify from there. All right, and then when we go to do number 6, notice there is some simplifying we can do here in number 6. And if we can simplify anything, we really need to. So in the case of number 6, you notice 3x to the 9th minus 3x to the 9th. Those are going to end up canceling each other out. They just totally go away. And then we also have a couple x to the 5th terms. We have minus 6x to the 5th plus 2x to the 5th. They don't totally cancel out, but they do combine. So first step, simplify it to become negative 4x to the 5th plus 4x squared. And yes, I do like to make a habit out of writing the highest exponent first because, as you've seen, it does make our lives a little bit easier. So this is what we're really classifying. Okay, so first by degree. What's the degree of this polynomial? That's highest exponent, so that's got to be 5. And what do we call degree 5? Excellent. And how many terms are there? 2, which means that it is quintic binomial as our final answer.